Hello everyone, this is part 37 of What If Naruto Had Two Bloodlines, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to Tsunade, Naruto. I've been calling you for 10 minutes now. Why didn't you come when I called? Naruto, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, I thought that I had misunderstood you. Naruto was lying in a tree looking angry as she walked up. Tsunade, sigh, when are you going to let that go? I said I'm sorry many times already, I've apologized for not hearing you out and for nearly killing you, I even congratulated you on doing such a good job at evading my attacks. Naruto, you're forgetting something, maybe the reason why I've been sleeping in a tree. Tsunade, sigh, and I'm sorry for destroying your bed and causing you to sleep in a tree, I'm sorry, okay, just, come down, I have something I want to talk to you about. Naruto reluctantly came down from the tree and followed her. Hokage Tower. 5th, congratulations. You two are now being promoted to the rank of Chunin. At first, both Shikamaru and Naruto looked confused, but it was soon replaced with a happier expression, at least on Naruto's face. Shikamaru, but why only us? I mean, I lost my match and all and the exams were brought to a halt because of the invasion. 5th, the tournament wasn't about winning. It was about showing that you had what it takes to be a future leader. Both of you have been recognized for this. Also, I watched the tape of your fights and I was also rather impressed, especially with you Naruto. A huge grin crept up onto Naruto's face as Tsunade continued on. Kotetsu, you lucked out since the Hokage personally recommended you for promotion. You didn't do such a bad job at showing your ability, but it wasn't all that great either. 5th, you had a tough fight against a member of the Hyuga clan, one of the village's most prestigious, and won. Not only did you beat a Hyuga, you beat the exalted genius of the clan. Sure, you had a more than rocky start, but when it looked like you had no chance you stayed calm and came up with a way to win. Also, since our run-in with Orochimaru you've worked really hard, like how you figured a way to use the Rasengan in your own style, not to mention the other day when you neutralized a potential threat to the village and we took possession of all the treasure they had found, all that gold that could be used for anything, like gambling, I mean, restoring the village, she said as drool began to run down her mouth. Izumo, Lady Hokage. 5th, oh, right, anyway, congrats to you both. Do your village proud. Ino and Chuji were waiting for lunch but couldn't stop snickering as they did. Ino, well, even a lazy guy like you can look pretty good in a flak jacket. Chuji, you look funny in it. Shikamaru, damn it, don't laugh. Shikamaru looked to be pretty upset as Ino and Chuji continued to tease him. Asuma, anyways, let's celebrate his promotion. Cheers. While lifting his cup into the air. Shikamaru, I wonder if Naruto is getting any of this kind of grief from his team. Team 7 and Yuki, with Iruka instead of Kakashi, were at Ichiraku's having lunch. The occasion. Iruka, Naruto, you've grown a great deal since the time you wanted one of these headbands, congratulations on being promoted to Chunin. Whatever you do, don't get so arrogant, you've still got a long way to go, looks at the eating bunch, that goes for the rest of you as well. Naruto, gee, thanks. Since we're celebrating me, how about you pick up the tab? Iruka, for the others maybe, but there's no way I'll let you put me in the poorhouse. Besides, as a Chunin you'll get a raise in pay for taking on tougher missions. Naruto, head hanging down, the tougher missions are great, but, I still like the idea of free food, sighs. Chuki, don't worry Naruto, since it's such a special occasion, we'll give you the first few bowls on the house. Naruto, really? Thanks old man. Returns to eating with vigor and pluck. Sasuke, there's something I don't understand, out of all the other competitors, why were Naruto and Shikamaru the only ones promoted? Iruka, I didn't get to see the fights personally, but by what the third said, even if you lose a match, if you show that you have the necessary skills you will be promoted. Shikamaru fought his match with intelligence, and the village council rated him high and he was acknowledged. Naruto did very well in his match, but I've heard that the main reason he was promoted was because the 5th Hokage thought highly of him. Sakura, she's showing favoritism, in a hushed tone. She had tried to say it to herself, but she soon realized that the others had heard her as well. Naruto, well, if she is, it's about time. I deserve it, especially since she tried to K me for something I didn't do. Everyone's sweat dropped, not to mention that I've been snubbed by Kakashi-sensei so that he could train Sasuke and teach him some cool technique while I had to waste my time on the basics. Looks over at Sasuke angrily. There's no way that that's the case. She may like us a little, but Grandma Tsunade doesn't seem like the type to give us special treatment, not with the way she yells at us and beats Naruto. Iruka's sweat dropped at this. He figured that the Hokage had a temper, but that she could control it, except around Naruto because he had that kind of quality too. He reminisced back to their academy days and the first few missions Naruto was given as a genin. Sasuke, Naruto, who did you fight? Naruto, huh. Sasuke, you won your first round match, so, who did you fight? Naruto, oh, I beat that Neji guy. Sasuke, Neji. Sakura, Neji Hyuga, you should have seen it, it was amazing. Looks at Sasuke, I mean, it wasn't as amazing as your fight, Sasuke. Naruto, yeah, you know, the guy with eyes like Hinata. He's said to be a genius, but the way I beat him was brilliant, although some people don't seem to think so. You should have been there. He didn't seem all that strong, at least as far as I could tell. If he's supposed to be some kind of talented genius and you beat him, then that just shows how great you are. Sakura, so far you've single-handedly defeated 2 out of 3 of their team, what are you gonna do next? Pick a fight with Tenten. You wouldn't do that, would you? She's my new friend. Naruto, what? No, I wouldn't pick a fight with her for no reason, it'd be pointless. That's good. You know, if you ask me, the reason my brother was promoted was because of how impressive he was in the tournament and then when we went to find Grandma Tsunade. During that time, Naruto nearly beat some weird snake guy. Naruto, monotone voice and blank look, you were eavesdropping, weren't you? Yuki chuckled nervously because Naruto had figured it out. Sakura, weird snake guy. Yeah? Ororu, Orori, Aurora. Auto FN, beam, oh. Right, clears T, moving on. Naruto, Orochimaru. Yeah, that's his name. The jerk. Iruka, wait, there's no way a mere genin, Archunin could defeat one of the legendary 3 ninjas. Naruto, are you sure about that, Yuki? I've given him a tough time the few that I've had a run-in with him, but I don't even remember anything after I won my bet by completing my new jutsu. Sakura, again with the new jutsu. Iruka, I know you think the world of Naruto, but you shouldn't exaggerate such things, Yuki. I'm not exaggerating. I saw it with my own eyes. Hinata, Shizune, my grandpa, and Grandma Tsunade saw it too. Naruto was shining with a golden light and he handed that Orochimaru guy the worst beating I've ever seen. Glances at Sasuke. Iruka, that's impossible. Naruto, well, I do remember him not being able to use his arms, and I sort of know what she's talking about, but I thought it was just a dream. Sasuke, what is this guy? First he beats Lee, then he beats that Neji guy, then that Gaara, and now he possibly defeated Orochimaru. Iruka, well, dreams aren't reality, not to take anything away from you, Naruto, but Orochimaru is a very difficult person. He schemed and carried out a plan that nearly wiped out the village. Because of that, things have become difficult for the Leaf. This is a hard time for us here in the Leaf Village, including the 3rd Hokage. We lost many talented shinobis. We've lost nearly half of our forces. However, we still need to complete all the missions requested of us just as before. Why's that? Why not just refuse to do them if there aren't enough people to pick up the slack? Iruka, we can't do that. We've been keeping the balance of power with other nations steady with our village's forces. If we were to turn down some of the missions, it's like telling the other nations that our village is getting weak. That's why even the Ninja Academy has been temporarily closed. Even I have to complete some field missions, you all as well. Sakura, us. Iruka, yeah, you're no longer academy students. You've all shown to be very capable shinobi of the Leaf Village, so you have to do your share. Pretty soon, you may have so many missions that you won't have any free time, so before that, I'd like to hear about your adventures while you were away. 5th, so, once a year you leave the village, then may I suggest a few escorts? Hiashi, there's no need for such a thing. I have my own and furthermore I can protect myself if need be. 5th, but you take your daughters with you as well, correct? Hiashi, yes, but what does that have to do with anything? 5th, I have a heavy investment in your daughter, Hinata. It seems that she is quite scared in healing jutsu. I assume she got that from her mother. Hiashi, yes, but I still don't understand what your intentions are. We Hyuga are more than capable of protecting ourselves and I would give my life to ensure my daughter's safety. 5th, that's the point. Hinata is a special case. If you're willing to risk your life for them, I'm sure that they are willing to do the same. Instead of the risk of losing the head of the prestigious Hyuga clan and his daughters, I feel that it would be more appropriate to appoint you a few guards. Hiashi, who do you have in mind? Kakashi showed up out of nowhere to inform Team 7 that they had a mission. Naruto, a mission. What kind of mission? Kakashi, a bodyguarding mission. Sakura, who are we guarding? Kakashi, the head of the Hyuga clan. Naruto, Hyuga, head. Kakashi, and his daughters, as well as a few accompaniments. You, Hinata and Hanabi. This'll be a fun mission. Kakashi, I don't think you'll be going, Yuki. This mission only calls for Team 7. Though you have your ties to this village, you aren't officially authorized to take part in any missions. You. Then am I supposed to stay here without my brother? What am I supposed to do while he's gone? Sakura, there's plenty to do in the village. I'm sure that you'll find something and have so much fun that you won't even notice we're gone. You. I doubt it, crosses arms and pouts. Naruto, then why don't you ask Grandma Tsunade if you can come too? You. Yeah, that's exactly what I'll do. Iruka and Kakashi were going to explain that this wasn't the best plan, but before they could say a word, she was already gone. Iruka, sigh, Naruto, you shouldn't get her hopes up like that. Since she hasn't been properly trained as a shinobi, she shouldn't take part in any missions. Naruto, I know that, but she's spent her entire life around pervy sage, so I'm sure she knows a few things. Besides, if anything happens, I'll protect her. Iruka, Naruto. Kakashi, sigh, well, first we'd have to see what the Hokage has to say about this. Chances are that she has her stay in the village. On the road. Kakashi, well, this is a surprise. You. I'm so excited. I get to go on a real mission. I won't be paid for it, but I just can't help but feel happy right now. Sakura, I think she's been spending way too much time with Naruto. Kiba, oh man, what is the Hokage thinking sticking us with an inexperienced rookie? You must like punishment, don't ya? Kiba slowed his pace so that he could keep some distance between him and Yuki. Hinata, I thought that I would get a chance to be alone with Naruto once Lady Hokage told me he would be coming along, but. You. What are you doing here anyway? Peeved, at Kiba. Hinata, the girl he likes, Sakura, and the girl that constantly clings to him, Yuki, are with us as well. I'm sure Naruto will want to spend time with Sakura, and when he's not with her he'll be with Yuki. Shino, since Hinata is a teammate of ours, the Hokage figured that we'd be able to support her if need be. Naruto, that makes sense, but why is Neji here? Neji, do you have a problem with my being here? Naruto, no, just curious. Hiashi, Neji was going to accompany us on this trip for many reasons. He is to be Hinata's personal bodyguard, and I also plan to train him during our travels. The Hyuga party consisted of a few Hyugas from the main house, mainly Hiashi and his daughters, a couple of branch members aside from Neji, and Team 7, including Yuki, and 8. Their destination, a small village in the Sky Country where Hinata and Hanabi's mother, Hinamori, was born and raised. Naruto, so, the place we're going. Hiashi, it is the birthplace of my wife and where her clan continues to strive. We're going to pay our respects. Naruto, oh, I'm sorry, nervous chuckle, I didn't mean to be so nosy. Hiashi, you were just curious. Naruto, why yeah, hee. Hiashi, just don't become too nosy. I still have my objections to any of you being here protecting us when we're more than capable. What Tsunade didn't tell him was that the reason she assigned Naruto's team to the mission wasn't just to protect her investment, but to make it up to Naruto. It's also why she allowed Yuki to tag along. For no particular reason, mind you, but she just couldn't seem to stand the thought of him upset with her. Hopefully a few days away from the village, and Sunit would give him a chance to cool down and forgive her. Along the way, they enjoyed many things, the sights, the food, the company, but it just got better when they finally made it. The village was so beautiful that words could not describe it. It had buildings that stood tall and proud. It had crystal clear ponds and lakes in the vicinity and pristine snowy mountains in the background. Even the people were remarkably nice looking. They finally made it to the village gates and were greeted by an angelic beauty. Lord Hyashi, it's nice to see you again, Princess Hinata, Hanabi, the brunette beauty greeted. She introduced herself to the group of unknowns and they did the same. She then led them through the village. Sakura, she's so beautiful. It only figures with this village, said as she looked at the magnificent surroundings. The young woman she thought of as beautiful introduced herself as Atsuko. She was a 17-year-old with plain looks, a warm smile, and a kind face. She also had big, round brown eyes that had a warm, inviting look in them. She was fairly slim and stood about 5 feet 4 inches with brown hair braided into a single, long ponytail over her right shoulder. She wore an open gray vest and skirt that came to her knees with a long-sleeved, blue bodysuit underneath and blue ninja sandals. Whether she realized it or not, the bodysuit she wore underneath accentuated her figure, showing off her rather large bust. She didn't seem the type that liked attention because of her body, but when she noticed Yuki staring at her, she warmly smiled back. It seemed that the further they went into the village, the more perfect everyone seemed. Everyone seemed to be in the best of shape, even most of the villagers. They greeted everyone cheerfully as a few shinobi in training soared through the skies, some actually soaring. The visitors noticed that this village contained pretty much the same things that theirs did, but it didn't look this good. It was a sight to behold. Atsuko then led them to a part of the village that seemed to shine brightly. The people they saw here smiled bigger and brighter and their eyes sparkled. There was also a recurring theme that the Leaf Ninjas noticed. Everyone here wasn't just in great shape, they were possibly in the best shape they had ever seen. Some of the men appeared to be chiseled, even under heavy clothing, and the women were as voluptuous and well endowed as their own Lady Hokage. Seeing so many beautiful and shapely women in one place was beginning to make the girls in the group a tad uncomfortable because, well, they didn't quite blend in as well as they liked. The guys on the other hand found it pleasant to be surrounded on all sides by such charming and enchanting lass. Kiba was so excited that he couldn't get his eyes to stay in place. His eyes became a blur. Just when he saw one lovely lady, he would see another just as stunning. He was going into overload. Unfortunately, this caught the attention of the young women in his group. They were already insecure about themselves at this point, and he wasn't making things any better. He looked like he was about to explode, but before that could happen, an unexpected kick from Yuki calmed him down. He wasn't to blame. What guy wouldn't be mesmerized by this much beauty? Though he played it cool, even Kakashi was having trouble keep his eye off the beauties of the village as well. You dumb mutt. It looks like we'll have to get you fixed. This suggestion caused Kiba and Akamaru, and even the other guys, to whimper. She picked up Akamaru and dragged the downed Kiba the rest of the way. They finally arrived at a big building. This was Hinata and Hanabi's grandparents' home and where they would be staying while in the village. Thank you Atsuko, for your assistance, said a man coming from inside. Atsuko, it was my pleasure, I was rather entertained by our guests. Chuckles, if you need anything else, don't hesitate to ask me, Lord Haruto. She bowed and took her leave. Not soon after, another voice was heard. Ah, Lord Hyashi, you're finally here. It's so good to see you and my granddaughters. Hyashi, hello mother, I apologize for our tardiness and the extra people, bowing. Don't you worry about that, you and your guests are always welcome here, no matter how many it may be. I'm just glad that I get to see my cute little granddaughters another year, she said while smiling. Hinata plush Hanabi, hello grandmother, grandfather, bowing. The Leaf Ninjas were shocked, though not all showed it. Naruto, jaw hanging, grandmother. Is there something wrong? She asked. Hyashi, just ignore them. Naruto, how is it that you're the grandparents, but you don't look like you're old enough to be grandparents yet? You look so young and, looks at the grandmother, beautiful, a thought popped into his head. Are you using some kind of jutsu to keep yourself looking young? Naruto asked the very question that had popped up in everyone's mind. He had all the reason to. When looking at the two, it was obvious that they weren't the expected image of grandparents. Haruto wore a black robe similar to Hiyashi's. He was a pretty big guy. He stood to be 6 foot and looked to be in perfect health and shape for someone who was supposed to be in their 50s. He had a box-shaped head, blue eyes, and a few wrinkles. He had a cane in one hand, but he obviously didn't really need it since he hadn't been using it since he walked through the door. It was nothing more than circumstantial. The only thing that made him look the part of grandfather was his gray hair. The grandmother was the same. Though she was supposed to be in her 50s, she looked to be no more than in her mid to late 30s. She had an angelic face with shimmering lavender eyes. Her hair was the same color as Hinata's with fading streaks along it, showing that she had aged at least a little. She had frontal bangs over her forehead, an errant sidelock on the left side of her face, and her hair was long with a braided tail over her shoulder with white pearls tying it. Like Atsuko, she wore an open gray vest but a tastefully long skirt that stopped at her ankles and heels. Instead of a bodysuit underneath, she wore a plain violet VN sweater. Although it was slightly different from Atsuko's, her outfit still showed off her well-developed figure. At only 5 feet 2 inches, it was pretty safe to say that she was even more buxom than Tsunade. Haruto, Nitsuki, did you hear what he asked? Hiyashi, what are you saying you? Giant pulsing vein on forehead. Nitsuki, no, sorry, we don't use any jutsu or secrets to look the way we do, but I'll take that as a compliment, pleasantly smiling. Kurenai, you've got to be kidding me, she's a grandmother who's naturally this good looking, I can only pray that I age that gracefully. Nitsuki, may I ask you your name, my charming little prince? Naruto, me. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, the future Hokage of the Leaf Village. Pumps fist into the air. Everyone's sweat dropped at his statement, upbearing confidence, and lack of shame. Haruto, Naruto, Uzumaki. Where have I heard that name before? Naruto, you've heard of me. Well, it only figures since I'm a great ninja. Sweat drops all around. Nitsuki, the young boy that our Hinamori wrote about. Haruto, oh, that Naruto Uzumaki. It's a pleasure to meet you, son, shakes Naruto's hand. Uzumaki. Naruto Uzumaki. Could this boy be? A red-eyed woman hidden in the shadows whispered. Naruto was confused by this. Why would Hinata's mother be writing to others about him? What he didn't know was that, when he was younger, Hinata's mother, Hinamori, adored him and had her heart set on the two one day becoming close. That would be a story for another time though. It was starting to get late, so it would be best to get the guests accommodated. A few of the servants came out to collect the group's things and show them to their rooms. Naruto noticed that a couple of them had tails like him. It didn't surprise him since there were many beast warrior clans residing in the Leaf and there seemed to be many scattered throughout the world. These, however, he could tell were special. He just couldn't put his finger on it. The girls would share a room while Hanabi had her own, as did Hinata. The guys would be in different rooms with the young boys sharing one with Kakashi, the two branch members in another, and Hiyashi with one to himself. The group tuned in for the night and wondered what lay ahead for them the next day. Later that night, a shadow crept through the manor. Silently and slowly, it made its way through the halls. It finally reached its destination, the boys' room. It placed its hand on the door, but just what do you think you're doing at this time of night? The shadowy figure slowly turned around to see a woman with red eyes glaring back. You. Nervous chuckle, isn't this the toilet? It's further down, she answered. Yuki made her way to the restroom and she conveniently had to go. Once done, she made her way down the hall and stopped in front of the boys' room. She could no longer feel the red-eyed woman's presence, so she figured that the coast was clear. Once again, what are you up to, little miss? She appeared behind Yuki out of nowhere and startled her. You. What? Where did you come from? Who are you? And why are you staking out my brother's room? Brother, do you mean Naruto Uzumaki? You. Yay? Yeah, if you're after him, I'll fight you. I won't let anyone hurt him. Then you must come with me, I have a need for you. You. Like hell I would. She looked up and noticed her sparkling red eyes. She began to feel drowsy as a red-eyed, jade dragon puffed a cloud of mist in her face. Her head drooped and she began to topple over, but the red-eyed woman grabbed her and disappeared into the darkness. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.